Punch in, follow the rules, ignore the sounds behind the door. These aren't just jobs, they're warnings. This is Spookify, and these workers clocked in for their last shift. Story number 1, overnight gas station attendant. You'd think the scariest thing about working the night shift at a rural gas station would be the meth heads, or maybe the boredom. But no, the real horror begins when the clock strikes 2 a.m. I was a broke college dropout with nowhere else to go. Bills piling up, credits wasted, parents disappointed. So when I saw the job posting for a graveyard shift cashier at a dusty gas station off Highway 46, I took it. No questions. The manager, Pete, was this crusty old guy with coffee breath and eyes that never quite looked straight at you. He only gave me one warning during training. From 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., don't leave the counter. Don't step over that black tile line. No matter what you hear, no matter who walks in. Got it? I laughed. Thought it was hazing or small-town superstition. He didn't laugh back. The first few nights were slow. A few truckers. One drunk dude looking for windshield fluid. I'd scroll my phone, eat stale jerky, watch the clock crawl toward morning. But then came the first weird night. Around 2:08 a.m., the ice machine outside started making this rattling, choking noise, like someone was trapped inside. Then the lights in the snack aisle flickered violently, like a strobe light having a seizure. I peeked past the counter, nothing there. But I could have sworn I heard crying. A woman's voice, distant and low, like she was sobbing through a wall of water. I stayed behind the line, just like Pete said. Night after night, it kept happening. Always in that cursed hour. Lights flickering, cooler doors popping open, soft crying, sometimes laughter. And once, the scent of burnt hair filled the whole store, though nothing was burning. I asked Pete what the hell was going on. He just muttered, "You'll see it. Eventually. Just don't be stupid." Then came the night of 2:11 a.m. I remember the exact time because I looked right at the digital clock. 2:11. The bell above the door exploded with sound as a woman burst in barefoot and bloody. Her white dress was torn and streaked with dirt. Her eyes were wide, wild, like an animal's. She sprinted up to the counter, collapsed to her knees and grabbed my wrist. "Please," she whispered. "He's coming. You can't let him see me. You can't." She was shaking. Cold. I could feel her nails digging into my skin. And then, she said my name. Not sir, or please, or help me. She said my name, first and last. "You don't remember me yet, but please, I don't want to die again." I froze. Outside, through the glass doors, something was walking past. Not a man. Too tall, too thin. Its arms dragged by its sides like wet vines. Skin like polished wood, almost bark-like. No eyes, just a vertical slit where a face should be. The creature stopped, turned toward the door. I had a choice. Let her hide, break the rule, or follow Pete's warning. She whispered, "Please." My instincts took over. I lifted the counter flap and motioned for her to duck behind the register. She slipped under, curled into a ball, and disappeared from sight. A second later, the door chime rang. The creature walked in. Its footsteps didn't make noise. It just glided, effortless. It stopped right at the counter, looked at me, or through me. Then it smiled. Not like a person, like a wound curling open. "Good choice," it said, in a voice that didn't match the shape of its body, rich and calm, like it had practiced human speech but never quite got the tone right. Then it turned and walked out. I collapsed, literally. My knees gave out. When I looked behind the counter, the woman was gone. No blood, no prints, no trace she had ever been there. The next morning when Pete came in, I told him everything. He just nodded, didn't ask a single question. Instead, he pointed to the wall beside the register, a place I'd never really looked. A line of Polaroids, old and faded. People behind the counter, looking terrified. One of them was me. Same uniform, same name tag, only the photo was yellowed with age. Dated June 11th, 1984. I wasn't even born yet. I asked Pete what it meant. He just said, "You made the right call. This time." Now, every night I dread 2 a.m. And at 2:11, someone new always walks in. Sometimes a kid, sometimes a soldier. Once, a man with no jaw and eyes that screamed for help. They always know my name. I haven't left the counter in weeks. But something tells me the night I do, that photo on the wall will update, and the next face behind the register won't be mine anymore. Story number 2. Fast food drive-thru. Dylan started working night shifts at Grub Shack a few weeks after dropping out of community college. His parents thought it'd be temporary. So did he. But nights were quiet, lonely, and in a weird way, comforting. Nothing moved after 10 p.m. except the occasional raccoon near the dumpster and a few drunks rolling through the drive-thru, slurring their orders and laughing at nothing. Dylan didn't mind. It was easy money. Mindless. Until the sedan. It started on a Tuesday. A rusted red car, early 2000s model maybe, rolled through the drive-thru at exactly 12 a.m. No headlights, no music. Just the soft rumble of a barely working engine and tires that made this unsettling grinding sound, like metal dragging over asphalt. Dylan leaned into the mic. "Welcome to Grub Shack. Go ahead with your order whenever you're ready." A pause. Then clear as a bell. "Double. No onions, fries, well done, no drink." The voice didn't sound like anything special at first. Monotone, dry, robotic even. He rang it up, handed the bag out the window, and barely got a glimpse of the driver's face. Just pale skin, dark hair slicked flat, and lips that never moved. No smile, no thanks. Just the bag. Next night, same thing. Same time, same order. Same rusted car, same driver. Still no headlights. Still no expression. Dylan figured it was some local, maybe a guy with autism or PTSD. Who was he to judge? But by the third night, something gnawed at him. The driver's face. It didn't look quite right. It was too smooth. The skin was tight, shiny in the wrong way, like wax left near a flame. And his eyes, they didn't move. No pupils. Just 2 gray marbles reflecting the fluorescent lights overhead. That was the first time Dylan hesitated before handing over the bag. And the first time the man stared at him for more than a second. Not blinked. Stared. Just held him there. Then, slowly, the car rolled away. Dylan didn't tell anyone. Didn't want to sound crazy. But from then on, he kept track. Made notes, dates, times, details. Night 5. The man's hand, gripping the wheel, was backward. Completely reversed. Fingers on the inside, thumb twisted unnaturally around. Like his hand had been grafted on the wrong arm. Dylan dropped the bag when he saw it. The man didn't flinch, just stared. As the car pulled away, Dylan caught a whiff of something. Like wet dirt. Moldy leaves. Something buried. He nearly threw up. "Night 6, Dylan called out. But that night, at 12:04 a.m., his doorbell rang. No footsteps, no car engine, just a bag sitting neatly on the doormat, grease-stained and steaming. Inside, double, no onions, fries, well done, no drink. The receipt had his name printed in all caps, and under it, scribbled in ink, "You're late." He didn't sleep that night. The next day, Dylan stormed into the manager's office. "You ever notice the guy that comes in every night, midnight sharp, rusted sedan?" James, his manager, didn't even look up. "Oh yeah, he's a regular." "What's his name?" "Don't know. Doesn't talk much. Doesn't blink," Dylan muttered. "He's not normal." James chuckled. "You're on night shifts. No one's normal." Dylan didn't finish the shift, didn't even go back for his last paycheck. But the next morning, his mom found another bag outside their front door. Same order. Only this time, the fries were stone cold. And the burger was rotted. The meat was gray. The bun was molded black. Inside the bag, scribbled on the receipt in shaky, childlike handwriting, "Always midnight." Dylan moved in with a friend, changed his phone, started sleeping during the day. But every night at midnight, he heard it, tires crunching outside. And in the morning, a bag. The order never changed. Neither did the name on the receipt. He went to the police. They laughed, told him to get some sleep. He called the manager at Grub Shack again. James didn't pick up. Someone else did, a new girl. He could hear her clocking in, first shift, midnight. She sounded nervous, asking him where the gloves were, how to work the drive-through headset. Before he hung up, he whispered, "Don't serve the car, just lock the window. If he comes, don't look at him." The girl laughed awkwardly. "Okay, sure, sounds like a prank. Is this a hazing thing?" Dylan never called again. But if you drive out past the edge of town, past the dying gas station and the blinking billboard that never changes, you'll see Grub Shack, still open, still glowing. And if you're there at exactly 12 a.m., watch the drive-through window. There's always someone working it, always a bag ready to go. And when the rusted red sedan rolls in, no one ever gets the order wrong. Story number 3, the archivist's curse. When I took the job, I thought I was lucky. After all, who else was offering full-time pay for a quiet night shift, doing nothing more than babysitting old books? I was a failed writer, washed out, broke, and desperate. So when the call came from an obscure academic society, offering a position as an overnight librarian at their private archive, I said yes before they could finish the terms. The building was old, older than any structure had a right to be. Gothic pillars, dust thick enough to smother sound, no windows, just endless rows of locked glass cases and heavy, iron-bound tomes. It smelled like forgotten time. They handed me a rule sheet, printed on crisp parchment and signed in ink that looked suspiciously fresh. The rules: never unseal a book, never reshelve one once opened, never stay past sunrise, never write anything in the archive. If a book appears on your desk, do not read beyond the marked page. The head curator, an unnervingly thin man named Grayson, pressed the key into my hand like it was a burden. "If you break the rules," he said with no trace of humor, "we will not come looking for you." I laughed. He didn't. The first few nights were uneventful. The only sounds were the hum of old lights and the faint click of the security cameras. I kept myself awake with instant coffee and memories of the life I had nearly lived, the awards I never won, the novels I never finished. I didn't touch the books. I didn't even browse the titles. They were sealed shut with rusted chains and leather straps, some etched with symbols I didn't recognize. Then, on the 5th night, a book was waiting for me on the desk. No title. No author. Its cover was made of something rough and organic. It was already open, as if expecting me. A thin ribbon marked a specific page, and there, printed neatly, clearly, was a paragraph describing me. He sat down at the desk with his usual sigh, nursing his 3rd cup of bitter coffee. The sleeve of his sweater was torn at the elbow, though he hadn't noticed yet. I looked down. My sweater was torn. I hadn't noticed. I slammed the book shut. The next night, a new book. Again. Open. Again. Bookmarked. Again. Describing everything I had done earlier that day. This time it knew things no one could know. He reread the email from his mother but didn't reply. He didn't want to admit how alone he was. I stood up so fast my chair tipped over. The air in the room felt colder. I tried to leave early, but every door was locked. The elevator didn't respond. I even tried the fire escape, but when I opened the stairwell door, I found solid brick behind it. The books kept coming, each night more detailed, more invasive, describing dreams I hadn't even told my therapist about. Then it started predicting things. Small at first. A mouse would die under my chair, my coffee would spill. But then it wrote this: "He will find a tooth in his coat pocket, not his." I reached into my coat. There it was, yellowed, cracked, slick with something cold. I threw the book across the room. It hit the marble with a wet slap and slid to a stop. When I looked again, it was gone. By the 3rd week, I stopped sleeping. I started hallucinating. I thought I saw movement behind the sealed glass cases. I heard whispering, faint and urgent, in languages I didn't know but somehow understood. I saw shadows where there should be none. One night, a book appeared with no bookmark. I should have ignored it. I should have walked away. But my hands moved before my mind could stop them. The page was blank, until I blinked. Then words bled through the parchment, like ink soaking in from beneath. He reads the last entry. He doesn't stop. He should stop. I turned the page. He knows it now. The archive is not a place. It is a book. And the moment he became curious, it began writing him. I tried to run, but every hallway led back to the same desk, the same book. Every other book in the archive had vanished. Even when I closed my eyes, I could see the page. Words forming endlessly, telling me what I was doing, what I was thinking, what I was fearing. I clawed at the walls. I screamed for help. I even tried burning the book, but the flames snuffed themselves out with a hiss, like the archive itself was offended. Then, last night, I found the final page. He turns the page, and when I did, there was no more text, just a reflection of me, reading, smiling, chained to the desk, just like the books had been. They say the archive always needs a new librarian, and the desk is empty now, waiting for the next curious soul who thinks they're just watching over books. Story number 4, night shift cleaner at the aquarium. I never thought I'd end up working the graveyard shift with a mop and a bucket, but hey, probation limits your options. After doing 18 months for a stupid fight that went too far, I just wanted peace, quiet, a job no one noticed. So I took a night shift cleaning gig at Maritech Research Aquarium. Big building, government funded, creepy as hell after hours. They gave me 3 rules on my first night. No phones near exhibits. Don't talk to the researchers, even if you see them. Never go near Tank 6. That last one, they didn't explain. Tank 6 wasn't even on the map. Just a sealed corridor near the back, curtained off with a faded yellow warning sign. Restricted area, biohazard risk. I thought, cool, less area to clean. But then, things started happening. On my 4th night, I heard tapping, software rhythmic. Tap, 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 coming from behind the curtain. At first I ignored it, blamed the pipes, old building stuff. But the tapping kept happening. Always around 3 a.m., always the same pattern. Then, one night, I found wet footprints on the tile. Human-shaped, bare feet. They started at the sealed door to Tank 6 and ended at the janitor closet, right where I was standing. I checked the cameras. They looped back an hour like someone had cut them. I should have walked, but I didn't. Curiosity's a dangerous thing, especially at night. So I peeked, just for a second. Slid the curtain aside. Tank 6 was massive. Thick glass, reinforced locks. Inside, murky blue water, swirling too slow for how still the room felt. And something humanoid. Long arms, pale skin, black eyes, gills along its neck, floating, watching. Then it moved, lifted a hand and slowly mimicked my motion. I stepped back. It tilted its head. The glass bulged, like it was breathing. I didn't sleep that morning, didn't go back the next night, called in sick. But guilt, curiosity, maybe stupidity, it pulled me back. I returned 2 nights later. Tank 6 was gone. Now there was a new plaque. Tank 7. Different number, same spot, same creature. Only now, it smiled. It waved when it saw me. And when I raised my hand to clean a nearby panel, it copied me. Perfect, synchronized motion. It was learning, studying me. There was a note taped to my locker that night. No name. Just typewritten text. Thank you for releasing it. Your shift has been extended, permanently. I turned. The corridor lights behind me flickered out. When they came back on, there were wet footprints behind me. I've been here every night since, not by choice. Doors don't open anymore. My phone's dead. The researchers don't blink when I scream. Tank 7 watches, and now it's not behind glass, it's walking the halls. Sometimes it wears my face. Not all jobs end with a paycheck. Some end with a missing poster. So if the boss ever says, "Don't ask questions," maybe don't. You've been on the night shift with Spookify.